As we know, all eclipses really drudge up the depths of the past. So, as you have been really filled with nostalgia for like the past month, especially coming up to this new moon solar eclipse that happened today, early this morning, um, a lot of the energy that is being drudged up is to link us to self sabotage, which is directly connected to a broken foundation, a crack in our foundation that is related to trust. Okay, so this is trusting ourselves, trusting other people in the community, and really bridging the gap between how we view others, how we view ourselves, and how we then project out into the world, right? So if we have a fundamental crack, more or less, right, within our foundation that doesn't let us trust, like, for me personally, I've been dealing with a trust wound, right? That's directly linked to betrayal, right? Within community, within friends, right? So this crack in the foundation has now made me feel very unstable, right? In allowing the formation of collaboration, right? So then when we have been dealing with those types of wounds here, it really blocks us from creating the stable foundation within ourselves, right? And then we then project sabotaging behavior, right? So like for instance, one situation that happened to me then created a domino effect to hurt myself or put me in harm's way, because if I hurt myself first, then I wasn't giving other people the opportunity to hurt me. Does that make any sense? So that's where we have to kind of like come back in, and this is really like building our faith, right? Because when we have that cracked foundation here, especially around trust, right? And trust is major. Like this is literally like a global wound, right? Because last year, I want to say it was during an eclipse season as well, as when I was channeling with Persephone, and she had brought me into the awareness that rejection is a basically in this realm, right? On this planet at this time, the biggest wound is rejection, right? So then when we're all sitting in this rejection wound, which is then directly linked to trust, we can't trust ourselves, we can't trust other people, and then we can't have a foundation of faith for ourselves, for the people we're surrounded by, for God, our guiding teams, right? It completely severs the tie. And then we sit in this energy where it's like a looking glass, right? So like we're constantly like looking out at this small little peephole, right? Trying to gain insight, right, of future events and or keep ourselves on a straight and narrow path, right? As this is our ego's projection, it's portraying a form of protection for us, right? So I hope that I'm making sense. I hope that you're staying with me. If you're still here, you're more or less are understanding this here, okay? So more or less, this new moon with the solar eclipse is having us reminisce on situations where we self-sabotaged due to the fundamental, the crevice, the crack in our foundation, okay? That is directly connected to trusting ourselves and or other people, that in turn has us projecting self-sabotage. We are hurting ourselves first before we give others the opportunity to hurt ourselves. And the reason that this is coming up is ta-da! Rejection, right? Okay, so we're talking about a rejection wound that is directly connected, that is keeping us separated, disconnected here, okay? So this solar eclipse energy, this new moon energy is bringing this up. So if you are having, signs, synchronicities, your dreams, right? Downloads. Like one major thing that came to me was like 2 nights ago, I got woken up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and that's when Spirit talks to us. So if you ever wake up between like 3 and 5 a.m., that is when Spirit brings through information. So whatever comes to the forefront of your mind during these wee hours, right? That's speaking to you, okay? Okay, selling out. We're selling out. We are lowering our value. We are not having healthy boundaries. And this self-sabotage. Oh, that was weird. Because that flew off because we're missing self-love. That's the missing link. It was beauty that fell on the floor. So basically what's happening here is we are selling out, right? We no longer have that trust within ourselves to love ourselves, to bring in that self-love because of fear of rejection, right? And something I've also been working through here within this energy, and it actually was shown to me through my son. And my son has this idea where he feels like he cannot assert himself to express himself honestly and originally, like his individuality, right? Because of fear of rejection, right? And I try my best to be extremely self-aware and things of that sort, but I have to also remember that I became a parent before I woke up and started my healing journey. So a lot of the subconscious programming, that I was raised upon, things that I possibly have not fully healed yet, are being passed down to my children, right? So more or less, right, I had this rejection wound that I was putting on my children, right? So where my son now feels like he has a lack of courage and confidence to assert himself in situations in life, to use his voice to speak up because of fear of rejection, that he's not going to be loved, right? And that directly came from me because that was my experience. So I'm basically selling out, right, of my true self, my true form of expression here, because of my lack of self-love, right? Because of my fear of rejection. Okay, so I'm speaking on personal experience, but more or less, this doesn't have to go hand in hand. Place yourself where you will. This energy is bringing up the selling out, the self-sabotage, because of our disconnection to self-love due to our deep rejection wound. Okay, so now that we're caught up, 7 minutes in, let's go ahead and clarify this energy. How can we help guide the collective here, my beautiful angels, through this energy? Look it, you can't make this self up, okay? This stuff up. Self-sabotage, self-sabotage. This is self-sabotage energy is highlighted here, okay? And we self-sabotage through S-E-X, SMEX, SMEGS, SMEGS. I don't want to get tagged for that, okay? SMEGSy time, okay? And, that was something that had happened to me too, right? Where I had this broken foundation in my life, right? Where I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust other people around me anymore, right? So the broken foundation that had happened, this deep wound of betrayal, now caused me to self-sabotage. And then this, right? I would sell out with SMEGs, right? I was giving myself freely to everybody because I was rejecting myself, because I was doing things to have that sense. Like I had for the longest time the belief that SMEGs was love. SMEGs is not love. I don't know who needs to hear that, okay? Because a lot of people in this world, in this time, are selling out, are giving themselves away, are sabotaging their body, sabotaging their individuality, sabotaging their, it's just like this deep broken foundation has kept us cycling in sabotage of this. Like in today's modern society, right? This is idolized as the cool thing to do. Like the more people that you sleep with, right? The more people, notches off your belt, the cooler that you are, right? When this is a sacred act, when this should be taken very, very seriously as a form of self-expression, of alchemization between lovers to create a deep bond, a connection. But instead, what's happening here is women are giving away their power to men. Men are collecting the power of the womb space from the women. Okay, I'm going off on a tangent now. Okay, so I need to stop myself. Okay, but basically, we're all kind of like in this energy here. Beep, 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 right? We are using our wound of rejection as a form of self-sabotage with SMEGs. With SMEGsies. SMEGsy time. No, stop. Stop. I'm going to go into part 2 because this is going to come full circle. So if you're with me, follow me to part 2 because we are going to break a huge loop here, okay, through this energy. Okay, part 2 of dealing with smegsy time as a form of love, okay? And what I've learned from this here as well is that when we are in this wound of rejection, right, where we have a deep core programming and belief that we have to reject ourselves, our individuality, our originality, right? And usually this is one, environmental, right? And then two, societally, right? Because societal programming really has dumbed us down to be like little, I gotta stay within the facade, I gotta wear the mask, I gotta keep up with the rat race, right? I have to stay in the hustle and the grind. And especially if you're here in the States, that's a whole different subject, right? So if you grew up here within, this societal stuff here, we were trained, we were programmed to reject ourselves, to reject our creativity, to reject our personal power, to reject everything about us that we know to be true. And this is why, if you follow me regularly, I speak on the inner child so often. The inner child is our saving grace. Our inner child holds the answers before all of the collection of life and adulting had taken over to reject our true form, our true identity that comes through our inner child, right? Our inner child holds that truth of who we are, right? Before we had to reject our inner child, okay? And then so what happens is when we reject ourselves, right? And then when we have this idea where I don't want to be rejected, right? Like because what happens here is when we're rejected, then our mind connects the dots and thinks that we are unworthy of love, right? So a form of our ego and our mind to bridge the gap to connect the dots here is through smegs, right? So if I give away my body, if I have smegs, then that creates a bond, right? This is an artificial bond though, right? Because we're not creating any sort of bonds when we're having casual smegs, right? This is not creating long-term happiness. If we are basing if we're living out of the rejection wound, chasing love through attraction and smegs and chemistry, it's just a form of self-sabotage. It's taking away our personal power because we're still connected to the darkness of rejection. This is going deep, specific, and I hope it makes sense, because if it makes sense to you, if you are here and this is making sense, we are about to break you out of a part of a rejection wound that's connected to modern day smegs, but it's only a form of self-sabotage. Because we all lack the courage to find our own light, to relight this flame. So we stay in the self-sabotaging cycle, in the victimized mentality that, oh, I'm going to be rejected if I step into my truth. Oh, I'm going to be rejected if I follow my heart. Oh, I'm going to be rejected if I do what I love. Oh, I'm going to be rejected if I express myself authentically. It's messed up. It's self-sabotage. It's directly connected because of our lack of courage. So now God is coming in 333 within this portal energy, right? The eclipse, and saying, here's some courage. Here's this little lamppost, right? Here's us trying to come out. We're trying to find this light. Where's the light? Hello, hello, hello. Right? Protect your throat chakra. Strange, random thing, okay? Somebody needs to hear that. Protect your throat chakra. Look at the courage to have faith. Wasn't I telling you guys in the very beginning, if you're coming from part 1, this is the foundation of trust, right? The courage to have faith, to build that faith, that foundation back within ourselves, to trust ourselves. Because the rejection comes from, one, ourselves, our environment, right? But again, society, right? So like I have been going through a major betrayal wound, right? For a year plus. Like I keep touching back on this because this betrayal wound that had come to my acknowledgement with like a friend that had really set me up for breaking my trust, right? I learned that over a year ago, and it continues to come to the surface as I continue to work through it, right? So as I continue working through this was all basically it separated me. It separated me from my faith in love, my faith in connection, my faith in trusting myself, what I know to be true. It broke that foundation. And then I went here. It took out my light. It took out my light. So because my friend took out my light, now it broke the trust that I have in people surrounding me. It broke my trust in trusting people and having faith in others to work with people. Who can I trust? Right? And if you have a wound of betrayal and where people have broke your trust in whatever area, this is your parents, your grandparents, your best friend, however this resonates for you, there's somewhere down the line in life that somebody broke our trust, and then it breaks the trust within ourselves. It's we directly mirror it back to ourselves, and then we blame ourselves, because then we think that if we it's like, and it's so funny because when I'm working through these, like, side note, when I'm working through the density of these things that come to the surface for me, I have to sit there and wrap my head around it. And I'm like, how in the hell did my brain go from this situation to this outcome? Why did this situation create this in my mind? Allow yourself the space, the grace, the time, right? To sit with your energy, to sit with the pain, to sit with the memories, whatever comes up, because it's divine consciousness. It's all connected. It is for expansion. Look at, for expression, to assert yourself in a direction, okay? To assert yourself back to the light, back to oneness. And that's exactly what this is doing here. So we're basically, like, my team and my personal experience through this portal energy is here as the guiding light to bring us back to faith, okay? To bring us into awareness of SMEGs, is coming from a trauma of rejection and is directly connected to a cycle of self-sabotage, because we are disconnected from trusting ourselves, trusting the people around us. It is a broken foundation that has taken faith from us. Faith in our own instincts, faith in our own who we are, in the ability to assert ourselves. And look at, I'm talking about the base chakra, the foundation here. Okay, so this is directly related to the root chakra, even the earth star chakra, because when I was doing my work earlier today, my feet were on fire, and that's earth star energy for me. Okay, so earth star is also our ethereal chakra that's connected here to Mother Earth, right? Which is ancestral generational patterning programming, right? So that could definitely, you know, it's a global thing. It's this thing of this realm, this rejection wound, right? That's blocking us, okay, from having a sturdy foundation. Of self-expression. You guys can't make this stuff up. Of communication, right? Of expressing ourselves. So this is all coming full circle to say that, and remember I was talking about protect your throat chakra, okay? So, you know, this could just be collective energy as well, right? Where this energy is coming in and it's showing us that the foundation of our authenticity, of our throat chakra, is completely out of whack. That is where this rejection wound is connected. It's connected to our authenticity. It's connected to our soul language that is distributed through the throat chakra, right? Where we express ourselves, where we express it. So when this foundation is broken, well, of course we're going to be here. This light is out because of the fear of rejection. So I'm kind of repeating myself here, but this is just to reiterate and confirm and clarify, to make sense of what is being channeled through, how I'm sharing this experience, how I'm bringing in the light. And if this is your first time here, hi, I'm Angela. I'm an intuitive healer, channel, energy reader, author to Path to Temperance, and Angel-Healing Practitioner. If you feel so called to follow along, please do. I'm here as a guiding light. I'm anchoring in as a bridge from the 3D to the 5D. Okay, so if you feel so called to my energy, to my messages here, I'm here, as my inner child would like to say, helping make the sad people happy. I'm here to shed the light. Okay, and I'm going to go into part 3 because this is not done being channeled. And I have Archangel Uriel is here, and she is actually the perfect energy to be here because she is she works with the element of earth, right? So we're talking here about grounding, right? And being grounded in stability. She's also the archangel of salvation, right? Where we need to apply that mercy, where we need to apply that forgiveness for ourselves, for others. It's a salvation of self, of connection, of sharing your truth, of honoring who you are, of coming back down to the foundation of, they're telling me, corresponding. Because this self-expression that many of us are rejected for at a very, very young age here is then where the break in the connection comes from, okay? The sacral here too, okay? The expression of our emotions, the expression of our creativity. They want me to pull the top card. Okay, I told you. Forgiveness is going to be our answers to heal this, okay? It's forgiveness, compassion, letting go. Be like Elsa, let it go, okay? And when we allow ourselves to let the heaviness of the people who rejected us, the people who betrayed us, the people who broke our trust, right? What that does is it's healing for us. The people who hurt us, if we come into contact with them again, wonderful. It's not for them. It's for you. There's a quote out there somewhere, and I'm sure many people have heard it, but holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting it to hurt the other person. 222 on my clock. So right now, this energy is here to help us let go. So you have memories, you have dreams, you have intuitive hits, you have this bubbling energy here, okay, that is coming to the surface. If you have sexual guilt or shame, lusting energy, that's going to come to the forefront here. And it's going to show you where you are sabotaging yourself. You're sabotaging your will to express yourself courageously, to have the faith, the trust, to trust yourself again, to grow. The power of 3, okay? So again, this is a lot about community, right? Rebuilding the foundation in the way that we view the people that we surround ourselves with, right? So, upon coming, into knowledge of a betrayal that happened to me 20 years ago, it now has it created a skewed perception on who I surround myself with and their true intentions for me. Book of Shadows, right? So this Book of Shadows, right? All the shadows, as I started in very part 1, like I started the video, like things are coming from the depths. Like anything during eclipse season is the depths. What has been hidden? The shadows is here. The shadow aspects of ourself are coming to the surface to clear the path, to be swept away. So hold that intention to know that any obstacles right now that are coming to the surface, we're meant to be empowered by. This is shining the light, right? This is shining the light to bring us out, to clear the path. So your answer is forgiveness. And you're resonating with this energy because there's it's sabotage. It's helping you clear out the sabotage. Okay? And is directly linked to the fears and the anxiety that surround us due to our rejection wounds. Okay, so beautiful. It's 224 and then 44 on my battery. So there's a lot of 4s, there's a lot of angelic support. Archangel Uriel wants to say something here. This is about balancing our emotions. This is about becoming back into tune with them and trusting what they're telling us, okay? Because that's where much of that disconnect comes from, is because we start disregarding our emotions from a young age, because we are taught, and this is for, this is not gender specific, but we're taught that, especially like for boys, like, right? Like, stop crying, your emotions make you weak, vulnerability is a weakness, your sensitivity, it's not a strength. You know, things like that have really been programmed into us, and that's where we reject our emotions, right? We reject our truth. And maybe that's why this modern society, smegsy time, right, is a thing that's cool, right? Where we are degrading a connection, like smegs is meant to create a bond. And that's why many of us in today's society are really, really bogged down, especially women, okay? Because when we are having smegsy time with people, we are creating an energetic tie with people, and then whoever they have been with, or problems or trauma or pain that they energetically hold on to, is then being exchanged, right? So then we are just casually exchanging trauma and pain with each other all the time, and then you're carrying those people's wounds and traumas with you in the womb space, right? That's why the sacral's here, okay, with the smegsy time, okay, especially for women, because women are, our womb space is sacred, right? So the more people that we are exchanging energy with, when we are sexually smegsy timing with all of these random people casually, you are hurting your womb space. You are attaching yourself to people and places and their trauma and their pain, and then we are unconsciously carrying it, not aware that it's not even ours to begin with. Be cautious. That's a tangent as well. Be very weary here of that stuff. This is the self-sabotaging here. This is to make the choice to heal. This is to make the choice to break out of the illusions here. Because we are in a very, very deep-rooted ancestral, this is like generational programming here, okay? A core belief that is a very, very deep, deep illusion, okay? Where we have this belief, 707, that this is normal. We're trapped. We're stagnant. This is stagnancy. This is not flow. This is not love. This is not following our righteous path. This is about cycling in a pain that a lot of people are, it's deep, deep, deep in the shadows. It's deep in our shadow. And it's taking away from our personal power. It's taking away from who we're destined to be with the star and the Hierophant, from our connection to God. Because this is a foundation that broke us from that, from trusting, from having faith in our emotion, in ourself, rejecting our true identity, rejecting our ability to express our authentic selves. And when we are separated from that, that's what creates the self-sabotage. This flew in reverse over the Book of Shadows and the forgiveness, right? So we sit here and we think and we ponder and we just kind of like sit and we ruminate and we don't let it go. We have to let it go. The way that we let it go, right? The way we become Elsa here is through forgiveness, compassion, to explore new paths. And we have to open ourselves up to this idea that when we allow ourselves into the darkness, that's where change is created. The darkness, the void, they're trying to have me channel something. Clarify this channel. There's something about the darkness here, the heart. Okay, to assert ourselves, okay, into the heart. So that's what they're trying to come through here and express, okay, to inspire us to kind of conceptualize this idea here within the heart space, and reminding us here, okay, to have this openness, okay. Look at the sexuality, okay. So we're open to, we're asserting ourselves through smegs, thinking that's love. That passions and desires. This is like I'm going into part 4 because there is a depth to this energy that is not surface level here. I know this channel is getting very, very lengthy here, but it's very purposeful, okay? Because the way that this is now showing up here, and it's all kind of coming full circle, right? Where God is now trying to connect us back to our desires, back to our joy and our fulfillments. What lights you up? What are your passions? Here's the inner child, right? Look at your inner child and your home, and accepting relationships, and trusting your truth. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's just totally all coming full circle here, okay? Because the way that this energy is now showing up is saying that we have all been going down this line of smegs, right? But the way that they are now approaching this smegs, right? This word here, okay, smegsuality. it's basically saying that it's time to honor that as a sacredness, right? So we have to have this. The God is trying to inspire us and conceptualize us back into the heart space, okay, to reignite the heart chakra here, all right, so that we can assert ourselves in this direction. But the way that we want to assert ourselves now is to be open, is to honor that as a sacredness, instead of a form of self-sabotage through our wound of rejection. Because this act is meant to be honored. This act is meant to be an expression of love, of inspiration, of passion, of desire, of fulfillment, of connectedness. But right now, in societal norms, it is being portrayed as a thing that is just, no, it's just a cool thing. It's just a cool thing to do, right? But all it is doing, it's linked to deep sadness. When I was in my 20s, in my party days, right, I had the time of my life. I was chasing thrills, right? I did not give two Fs, right? And I would just open myself up to situations in that regard. And all that did for me was made me feel more empty. It made me feel more less than. It didn't fulfill me. I didn't feel happy. And now I've been abstinent for years and I feel more fulfilled than ever. That is where we are in this cycle of sabotage. So the next person that, I, release my abstinence for, it's going to be honored. It's going to be passion and desire filled. It's not just a random little thing here that I can cycle back into for smegsy time. Many of you are being asked to be abstinent here, okay? Let's have a closing message, my beautiful angels. Thank you. Look at, let go. We have to let go of this, okay? To alchemize. You're being asked to let go and have patience. Have patience with yourself. Have patience with letting go. Because everything that's at the surface right now for all of us, 333, is to overcome. It's like a knot, like a deeply ingrained generational knot, Celtic knot. And allow yourselves to view like it's like, like the Celtic knot. There's something with the Celtic knot that's coming in this energy, and it's almost like they're reminding us here to honor what it's a message for interconnectedness. Because the Celtic knot is something that is it's unbreakable, right? But it's revolved around love and desire and connection, a deep bond. The Celtic knot is not about having fun and chasing thrills and in toxic pursuits of who can I sleep with before this other person, or how many times can I get laid this week, or right? You can set yourself free from the confines of expectations, right? So again, that expectation, like that's our ego speaking, where it's like, oh, how can I sabotage myself more? Time to bring ourselves into this energy, to be the love goddess, gods and goddesses, to connect back to the heart chakra, because that is true fulfillment, not meaningless smegs. Smegs. I've been saying smegs. It's cute. Smeggies. Smeggies. You attract love, attention, and good smegs into your life, right? When you connect it to your heart. Because I mean, if you can resonate 555, if you've had like meaningless smegs, right, with just an array of people, right, it may be like fulfilling in that moment, but when the act is done, it's like there's like this hollowness. We're trying to fill a void, the rejection. And in another layer of energy, the way that this can turn around on itself, right, within the self-sabotage, is that we are casually having this smegs with people, right, in that form of self-sabotage where I'm not going to open up, I'm going to keep myself closed off, I'm just coming in for the deed, right, for that pleasure, for that, you know, that to try to fill that void of the missing link of love and tenderness. It's a major block that we're blocking ourselves from actually truly opening up, because we're using that as an excuse. We're trying to fill a void that's much deeper with a disco stick, right? It's so strange how this is all coming up in the way that it is, okay? But it's the truth, and it's where we need to switch out of the sabotage here, okay? Because societally here, this has been a major hindrance. All right, where we're cycling in an energy that does not serve us, and it's keeping us disconnected from trusting ourselves. So let go with love, let go with patience. This is here to clear the path. This is here to bring in the light, okay? To have you step back into your personal courage. What lights you up? And give yourself the grace and the space to truly look at that foundation. Where is there a crack in that foundation? Because more or less, everybody in this world has a rejection wound. Everybody. And if you can sit here and say, well, I don't, that's your ego. Because everybody, more or less, maybe some are harmed more by it than others, and others are able to work through it more easily. It is not holding them down as much as it is the next. Everybody's experience is different. Everybody's journey is unique, right? So at the end of the day, be honest with yourself. Come back into this space and honor your will to express yourself, to assert yourself in your own authentic way. And know that you will be loved for it, because then you will attract the people that love you for your authentic expression, for who you truly are. Because right now, we are all attracting people that are drawn to this energy. So when you allow yourself here to have faith, to forgive, to let go, to be Elsa, then you come back here and you're expressive and you're open and you honor each other, yourself. And you don't accept anything less than what you know you deserve. So when we start healing that energy, that rejection wound, we're no longer being rejected. We are just honoring ourselves. So let me know how this message resonated for you guys. I know it was a little bit lengthy, but I thought it was beautiful. And that really goes to show how this energy is bringing up the depths, the shadows for us, so that we can really work through a major wound here and release a lot of this programming that is holding us back. So sending lots of hugs and ethereal high fives and fist pumps, and I wasn't punching you. And if you're interested in booking your own personal message, you can email me. My site is up now, but it doesn't let you check out yet. I'm like learning a whole new system. So bear with me. Hugs and kisses. Have a wonderful weekend.